Hey guys, and welcome to episode 9 of the Hollerachia Podcast. We're doing something different this time. It's pretty cool. We're actually coming at you from location at Toad's Barn and Grill. I know we shouted them out a few times on this podcast, and now we're here. And also, as always, we want to thank our friends over at the Pickup Country WSKV 104.9 FM studios, WBFC studio where we film our Gracefully Passive podcast, and also want to shout out our friends over at Holler Studios. They've done some great things, and they've been really good to us, and just definitely want to give them a plug. In the last few episodes, we have also kind of raised awareness for the plight of the people in Eastern Kentucky and now Central Kentucky, and the ravaging effects of the floodwaters that have hit them and they've suffered from. And we've been trying to go through and provide you with the best possible avenues of funneling money into the places that we'll get to the appropriate people, provide the relief where it's needed. You can do so by donating at the Foundation for Appalachia, Kentucky. Just go to their website and you'll see the links there, and it'll give you a choice to donate in the areas that really need it the most. But today, I'm actually pretty stoked to, have him here because just like I said before, we're filming on location, so this is all new for us. But at the same time, I'm also interviewing a guy that I've never met before. First time we're meeting this guy. Really cool dude, and really stoked and excited to have this conversation with him. So I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Jeremy Zeller.
How you doing?
How you doing, buddy? Sorry for that long-winded intro.
No worries, man. No worries.
I'm really, really bad at intros, and people that, bared with us for like the first 8 episodes, they know that. So
I get it.
But yeah, man, how are you doing?
Doing well. It's good to be here.
It's cool, man. Really excited to, like I said, have you here. Really excited to have this conversation with you, and really excited for this whole format because, right after we, get done with our little chat, we want to set up over here and, watch you play Set of Toads.
Sounds good.
And that's going to be our Listen At You sessions for this episode. So also, hold on a second. Shout out Toad's Barn and Grill, for letting this happen. They've kind of let us to sit up in here and kind of gave us the space. So, they've been good friends to us too. So,
Feeling froggy? Hop on over to Toad's Barn and Grill, the hottest new venue in Red River Gorge. Featuring a loaded menu of signature eats and drinks, Toad's Barn and Grill provides guests with a unique, fun, and sociable experience with their roomy, open-air dining and bar areas. Want to dine under the stars? Toad's offers a chill, inviting, and softly lit outdoor patio with plenty of comfortable seating. Visitors and locals alike rave about the fun atmosphere, friendly staff, first-rate food, and fantastic loaded calendar filled with amazing music and family-friendly events every week, including Singo on Thursdays, a favorite among Toad's regulars, live music on Fridays and Saturdays, and their popular cornhole tournament every Sunday at 2 p.m. Toad's Barn and Grill is located at 9943 Campton Road behind Four Guys RV Park between Stanton and Slade. Follow them on Facebook or find them on the web at toadsbarnandgrill.com for more information, updates, and upcoming events. And don't forget to check out Mushroom Grove Shopping Village at the Red River Gorge, located right off Campton Road in front of Toads, where you can find an amazing variety of great local and regional gifts, merchandise, and offerings at one of their many new little shops. Opening soon.
Wait, thank you. So yeah, buddy. I've been listening to your music for a little while. I haven't got a chance to listen to you live yet. And you're one of our first guests we've had on. It's a little bit of an edgier sound. So how would you describe your music, you think? Like in your own words?
Oh, gosh. I've been trying to figure that out for a long time. Right now, more of like a roots rock, Americana.
Yeah.
Kind of. I call it grunge gospel.
Yes.
I have my roots are in the church, starting from bluegrass and gospel music. And,
yes.
Grunge music changed my life. So I've kind of incorporated that into what I do now.
That's interesting you said that. Because, whenever I started listening to your music and kind of like digging deeper into your catalog and the stuff you've written and stuff, you see a lot of that contemporary Christian kind of, stuff influence in there. You have a lot of like faith-based songs or great music, awesome songs. But then you also have like this whole like Lane Staley kind of a sound, like Cornell, like in the background. That's just kind of like so Staley and Cornell, is that close? How would you?
Yeah, Chris Cornell is he's in my opinion best rock
Yes.
vocalist that's ever lived. Sebastian Bach before that, maybe for that sound, but
Yep.
as a whole, man, it just doesn't get any better than Chris Cornell.
Cornell is the godfather of that sound. Like Prine is the godfather of the Americana folk sound.
Yeah.
So, but you blend the two very well.
Thank you.
But so I was kind of around point then. So, and I definitely heard the Cornell in there. But like I said, you had some of that real gravelly Lane Staley kind of stuff too. Like I really dig it.
Yeah, nice.
So grunge influence is definitely a big thing for you.
For sure.
So what'd you grow up listening to? Like what kind, besides like Soundgarden stuff?
Yeah. Well, see, I was, when I was growing up, it was bluegrass and gospel music. From there it went into the church music of the 80s. So 80s Christian rock was, I was a Striper kid. I loved the band Striper.
Yeah, I know Striper.
And at the same time, I was starting to, discover Skid Row and, some other bands like that.
Hair bands,
hair bands. So, and then that kind of took me into the grunge era. I love music. I don't care what genre it is usually. I'm not a massive rap fan, but I still like some rap music,
I appreciate good rap music.
I just appreciate good music. I don't care what it is,
Absolutely.
But if I had my druthers, I'd be playing some grunge music.
Hey, gang. So a few times throughout this episode, you're going to hear Brandon mention that we had to do things a little bit out of order this time. Since this is our first time recording an artist at venue ahead of them playing a live set, we weren't able to do our typical cadence that we like of doing interview song, so on and so forth. So with that, Brandon was kind of flying a little blind. He didn't, he wasn't able to kind of lead into the next song and make sure that he, he was talking about the songwriting process for specific songs. So the best way to kind of mitigate that is you're going to see my face. I have, in editing this, I have listened to all the songs, so I'm trying to insert them where they make sense in the conversation. So this is a little bit of a longer intro, but the remaining intros will be much more brief. But anyways, at this point, Brandon and Jeremy are talking about his influences, heavy grunge vocal influences. Super excited about that. During his set, he played this song that I'm about to lead into. In this song, keep your ears open. You're definitely going to hear some Cornell in there, and if you're really keen here, you're definitely going to hear some Lane Staley in there. So, without further ado, I would like to lead in to Jeremy's new song, "Poured Out."
Yeah. So this next song, I'm getting ready to record a project in May, and this is going to be my first. Extended length project, more than 2 or 3 songs that I've done since 2010. So I'm very excited. And this is going to be one of the songs on it. It's a song called Poured Out. Oh, catchy, right? You left me on the battlefield naked, with bullets in my bones. Houston, why'd you leave me here alone? Why'd you tell me you're my brother, then you done got up and gone? See ya next time with a sad smile, 'cause there's something deep within you that you know you done me wrong. I've been poured out, there's something in the holy water, brought down by the silence of the fall. I've been seeing past your golden altar. Now the only thing I need to do is watch it burn, sing it all. I remember when your fingernails were dirty from picking through the stones. Well, hey, Judge, tell me what I gotta do. Guess I had to kill myself before I got it through to you. But I got up and I got out. Now I'm coming after everything you ever kept from me. I've been poured out. There's something in the holy water, brought down by the silence of the fall. I've been poured out. I'm seeing past your golden altar. Now the only thing I need to do is watch it burn, singing all. I is watch it burn, singing Thank you.
I tell you, man, one of my favorite albums I bought, and it was just the most random album I ever bought, was but it actually turned out to be really good. It was a reggae tribute to the Rolling Stones, and it's like the Painted Black series.
Okay.
It was like the most random album I owned. I bought it in like 7th grade, but I burnt that thing up. But just like something about those like off upbeats and stuff like that. That's really identifiable to that genre of music. But it's like I'm right there with you, man. Good music is good music.
Right.
At the end of the day, you don't really have to take a hard stance against one thing or other. But what I love about you and your sound is like you really do kind of blend it all together.
Thank you.
Because bluegrass and gospel. So obviously we kind of got the hair metal, the grunge, that side of it, and you said you kind of got the like the '80s contemporary Christian in there too. What about bluegrass?
I like bluegrass. I don't spend a ton of time playing it just because that's just my fingers were not made to flat pick like that, man.
Yeah.
It was, as a kid, I'd be sitting in the living room watching all my uncles and my papa there. They're just, and my cousins tearing it up. I was a drummer at first. So that's where I kind of learned music, was through the drums, and ultimately I kind of landed on vocals. So yeah, I'm primarily a vocalist.
Okay, so you made that transition then. So vocals is kind of, I guess, what you would describe as your first.
Sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Excuse me. Cool. So when did you discover that you could sing? I guess kind of what made that epiphany? When did it hit you?
Yeah, I mean, my whole family on my mom's side is musical and they sing. So singing was just kind of part of growing up. Now, as far as when I started to actually sing myself, I would say it was when I was in my early 20s. Some friends of mine called me up and said, "Hey, you want to join a band?" And the guy calling me was a drummer. And so I knew they didn't need a drummer. And I was like, "Well, what do you need?" And they were like, "Well, we need a singer." And I was like, "Okay, I'll try it."
You'd be like Judas Priest or like the E Street Band, just have like 2 or 3 drummers.
Yeah, right. And he was way better than I was. So I knew I wasn't going to be the drummer. So yeah.
So, Josh Becker, you met a producer, shouts out, plug my buddy Josh back here, producer. Couldn't be sitting here doing this without him. He's the tech guy. This is so over my head, so beyond my scope of knowledge.
Yeah.
If I didn't have him, I wouldn't be sitting here. Josh is definitely a priority in this operation. He's a drummer.
Nice.
Yeah, so we kind of connected the music. We met in college, worked together, Cracker Barrel.
Right on.
But yeah, so
I worked at Cracker Barrel.
You really?
I did when I was in college.
I'll tell you, man, Cracker Barrel is behind the scenes is a wild place to work.
Yep.
It is one of the craziest places I've been. And, to think they market it as such like a wholesome, just like, after church kind of Sunday old folks kind of vibe. But behind the scenes, man, there's some wild people that work at Cracker Barrel.
Yes, there is.
That being said, me and him are probably like the most normal of the bunch coming out, but he was a drummer, I was a guitarist. We just kind of started picking around, playing. We roomed together, and we've been friends ever since.
Nice.
But kind of totally sideboard there. So you kind of fell into it, but this was after high school. You say you were in your 20s, right?
When I decided to do it seriously,
Gotcha.
I was in my early 20s. I suppose I was playing in bands as a drummer through high school.
Right.
But, as far as vocals go, that wasn't until I was out of my garage band phase, actually.
So when you were a drummer, you were kind of like a stand-in, or I float. I'm not stand is the wrong word, like a floater. Like I guess you kind of bounce around between different.
I could. Yeah.
Gotcha. That takes talent too, man. That's something I've learned to respect in like musicians too. Like some ones that can just be playing this one style sound and like learn this one, set of songs that just kind of bounce over and play something completely different, just like seamlessly.
Yeah.
That takes a level of skill that I'll never possess. So, I've been playing guitar since I was in 7th grade.
Right on.
And I've I've sat next to some people that are so wildly talented that it just makes me want to put it down.
That's why I don't consider myself a guitar player. It's because I've been playing with some of the best guitar players in every area that I've been around. And so it's like for me to call myself a guitar player, it's kind of funny. So I just don't do it.
You sound good though, man.
Thank you, man.
Like you do, you sound great. And then I love that. That's why I'm really excited for this acoustic pop-up you got here at Toads, man. I'm so excited to put this, present this to people and kind of put this out there. But it really kind of displayed that sound. So, do you have what kind of projects are you currently working on? Do you have anything coming down the pipe? Or?
I do. I'm very excited, actually. It's my first full-length record that I've done since 2010.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's called The Soundtrack for Healing.
Really?
And I'll be recording it with Danny Mickoff from Mill Spring Studios. I don't know if you know Danny or not. But
I know the name.
Yeah. And so going into the studio May 19th to start that. So
very cool.
Very excited about that.
Very cool. So how would you describe this project? Well, I guess first of all, kind of tell me a little bit about the project. The type of sound you're kind of going for, and then we'll kind of go into like the process of putting it all together, because it's been 15 years since your last album. So definitely kind of want to explore that.
Oh yeah. I started writing this project in 2012, and essentially it's journal entries from my life over that time. And in my life over those, that time period has been crazy. I was in active addiction and gone through recovery. I was married twice in that time,
man.
So just this cycle of chaos that I walked through for a good chunk of that time has kind of turned up in these songs. And so the project is called A Soundtrack for Healing. It takes the listener, I suppose, from, the bottom of my hell all the way through to kind of a restored relationship with God for me.
I love it.
So, yeah.
Very cool. So you kind of go through that whole transcendence arc, man. I love that.
Thank you.
Very, 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 very
I'm
cool.
excited about it.
Well, because like we were kind of talking off mic, man. In a similar vein, 5 years ago, I went through a pretty ugly divorce, and not ugly in the fact that we didn't, we were like butting each other's heads, but just kind of internally, it was like a very tumultuous time for me.
Yeah.
And it is, man. It is something that will change a person.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been through it twice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, the second one was just a mistake.
Right.
The first one, we had been married for 20 years, had 3 kids together. So it was, that was a tough one to get through. But
absolutely.
On the other side of it, I'm so grateful that I don't have to be married to her, and I can still love her for being my kid's mother.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so now, I mean, she's a good friend of mine, you know, and so
that's the best possible outcome. Yeah.
Yeah. And Amy's my new partner. And, we kind of have a family that's us and kids, and we all just kind of, take care of each other.
Yours, mine, and ours. Yep.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
All right, so at this point, Jeremy's been talking about family. He mentioned his partner, Amy. So I'm going to jump right into it. This song is called "The Night the Light Brought the Moon," that he wrote for his partner, Amy.
Yeah, this is a song I wrote for the love of my life. About the night that we met. It was crazy, y'all. Like, you ever feel somebody before you ever see them? Yeah, it was like that. It's like I knew something walked into the room. I turn around, I see this angel. This is about her. This is about Amy and the night we met. I like the way you're knowing someone else is thinking about me. And I like it even more to know it's you. There's something about the way you make the darkness turn to day. I think you just might have me ready to try again. God, I don't know what you're doing anymore. I guess the only thing there is for me to do is close my eyes and open up the one to see the very light you sent that night to see me through. The night the light of life brought the moon. I can't forget the feeling of you walking in that room. It seemed the universe made a way from me to you. And now I start the day with the mention of your name, along with all the things that have my gratitude. And I don't know what you're doing anymore. I guess the only thing there is for me to do is close my eyes and open up the one to see the very light you sent that night to see me through. The night the light of life brought the moon. The night the light of life brought the moon. The night the light of life brought me you. Isn't that sweet? Thank you, thank you.
That's cool. But it is, and it's but the thing about it is, you know, going through like so much of that traumatic life experiences, you know, and you're capturing 13 years of it.
Yeah.
That is rife for some good art.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, as much as it, you know, as unfortunate as it is, you know, the most tortured souls are the ones that produce the greatest works.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, art comes from pain. But I love the fact that you're kind of capturing that redemption arc on the end of it and going through that transcendent period.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear it, man. I think it'll be great.
Man. Thanks.
It'll be
I think
very,
it's
very cool.
important to tell that story. You know, that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons I'm out doing what I do is and telling my stories, because I think it's important to inspire each other to just be authentic and just, you know, to relate to each other where we can. Understand that the human experience in and of itself is, you know, can be a very beautiful thing, especially when you do it together with people. And we can meet each other in that common space through our own pain that we go through.
Yeah.
And for me, that's kind of what I try to do with my music, is I just try to meet people in that spot.
That's great. I love it, man. Like that is the whole, I mean, that is a function of music that I think is exercised and executed in the best possible way, or for the best means or end game, you know. And that's very, very cool. Because I know I've heard your stuff so far. I've heard your current catalog, and I know what you got coming out the pop is definitely gonna be awesome. So,
I'm excited.
I'm pretty stoked about it. Because like I said, this format's gonna be a little bit different. We're doing the entire interview portion kind of on the front end, then we're gonna record the entire listen at you sessions on the back end. So a little bit different. Usually, what we do is we'll, you know, kind of talk a little bit, chat. You'll introduce a song. We'll talk about the song and stuff. But I guess, do you know what 4 songs? I guess around about 4 songs that you had planned on featuring for this session.
I was just going to let you
Oh,
pick
fine.
whatever songs you want to do.
Let's
You
go.
can record however long you want.
We're learning on the fly. I guess we'll kind of let me approach it a different way. I guess, what are your most impactful songs? Some of the songs you're going to be playing tonight. I guess, what are the most impactful songs that, you know, personally to you, that you've written, that have had like the biggest effect on you and have been the most well received? That kind of tell me a little bit about kind of what goes into the writing process of putting those together and breaking it down. And how do you know when you've got something that is just like, you know, the perfect final product?
Oh my gosh, that's the perfect final product. I don't know anybody that's ever recorded an album and thinks that they have the perfect final product.
That's probably unfair of me to put it like that.
Well, no, what I'm saying is it's just you know, especially as you're in the songwriting process. First of all, when is the song done enough to record? You know, that's step 1. And then step 2 is getting in the studio and recording it and knowing when to stop. Because so often you want to add it, you know, another layer of this, or, you know, something else of another sound or something like that. And it just can be overkill.
I love that answer. I love that answer because of that tells me that, you know, the pursuit of always refinement, the pursuit of, like, you know, perfection, the pursuit of perfection is what makes you a good artist or a good creator. You know, and never accepting, you know, the final product for what it is. Always think of ways to improve it, you know, and stuff like that. That's what you see, like, you know, obviously the best songwriters, the best artists, the best musicians.
Yeah.
So good, you know, I like to hear that. It's a pretty cool answer. I know my buddy Josh back here he's written something on a whiteboard for me. So you have some charities that you're involved with. You want to talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Give them a plug.
Sure. The first one, I guess, would be Operation Song. I've actually got their sticker right here, or their cup right here. Cool. Operation Song is it's an organization where they team songwriters up with war veterans that struggle with post-traumatic stress disorder,
very cool.
From combat. And so, yeah, I sit down with these veterans for about 10 weeks and put my pastor hat back on. I was a pastor for a while. So I would, I get to counsel these guys and turn that into a song that hopefully, brings healing to their life.
Very cool.
Yeah. So love it. Excited about that one. That's one of them. Another one is A Day at the Park. Mm-hmm. I'm an autism awareness advocate in Kentucky. Great. So A Day at the Park is it's like a resource festival where families can bring, those that they live with that are affected with autism, and they can find what the first step is for them. A lot of these people, autism is way more prevalent than people think.
Yes,
and B, it's just something that the state of Kentucky just isn't prepared for.
Yeah.
And so, it's just it's a day that we decided to just play music for about 6 hours, and there's balloons everywhere. There's organizations that are set up to be able to help someone on their autism journey,
and very stimulus friendly kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. It's just it's just a day at the park.
Well, also, I mean, Kentucky, is probably behind compared to other states, but we are kind of bridging that gap. We're getting a little bit better about how we, handle autism.
I hope so. Yeah.
And it seems like people are really starting to recognize and appreciate and respect the fact that, on that spectrum, there are a lot more people, and they fall in different categories, and they present in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And, I've had some loved ones in my life, that kind of fall on that spectrum. And, obviously, you want them to have the best possible life, have best possible outcome, and, anything like that, I'm all about. Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
I know Winchester has something similar. I did a little promotion for them in the paper. I think I'm also the owner editor of the local paper.
Oh, okay.
I did a little plug for them in one of our last editions, but it was something similar. Not like a music based, but it was kind of like a resource based.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a outing.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Nice.
And the veterans thing, man, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Love that. So to break that down a little bit, so you find a veteran, you seek them out, and you kind of give them a little bit of conversational therapy, just kind of engage with them.
Just hear their story,
and then you take that and you kind of you take their story and their narrative and their experiences, and you make that into a song.
Yep.
Awesome.
And then it's a gift for them, and then the organization, if the organization likes it enough, then they'll promote it and put it out there. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a time that you can spend with somebody to hopefully bring some healing. And so,
these songs are, I guess, privately distributed, or are they publicly aired, or
I've not even written my first one. I just signed with them, so I don't have anything out with them just yet.
I guess that's my question is when you write it for a specific veteran, obviously it's for them. It's kind of a gift for them.
It's owned by Operation Song.
Yeah.
It's their song.
So do they publish those songs? Or?
Yeah. There's
no, that's cool. That's cool.
I don't know.
No, I agree with that.
Exactly,
that's awesome.
But yeah.
I didn't know. I was trying to understand the format.
Yep.
Okay.
Me too.
Cool. Hey.
All right. So Jeremy's introduced his charities he's passionate about. He introduced one that he's very, very new to called Operation Song. So I'm just going to leave it there. During his set, he introduced this song called Hear Me, which was about that journey. So please enjoy.
One of the cool things I get to do as a songwriter is I've partnered up with an organization called Operation Song. And essentially, I sit down and meet with war veterans with PTSD and co-write a song together. And hopefully it brings healing into their life. So this is a song that I wrote for that journey. It's about finding somebody at their rock bottom and letting them know that you can relate, that you've been through some pain too, I got some things on my mind that I would like to get outside of me. Maybe in spite of me. Oh, I did it again. Step back into the folds of my skin. Then I pulled the cord, slammed through the door. I couldn't hear myself anymore. Then I said, I'm not the one with the gun in my hand. I'm the one on the ground trying to help you to stand while your pocket rocks are all painted like Goldilocks. Won't you please hear me? You got every right to not want to fight, but shadows are only alive in the light. Won't you please hear me? It's not the wound but the scar that makes who we are. Let the dust in your bones come to life. I can see the light of this trial that I can finally see outside of me and watch truth define me. So I'll say it again. I'm not scared of the shape that you're in, 'cause we're all circles and stars, trapped behind bars, dying inside to be told, child, behold who you are. And what would it take just to get you to see that the pain that made you is the same that made me? You're not on your own. Oh God, my friend, you're not all alone. Won't you please hear me? You got every right to not want to fight, but shadows are only alive in the light. Won't you please hear me? It's not the wound but the scar that makes who we are. Let the dust in your bones come to life. I can see the light in my eye that I can only see inside of me. And you are just like me. So please hear me. You got every right to not want to fight, but shadows are only alive in the light. So won't you please hear me? It's not the wound but the scar that makes who we are. Let the dust in your bones come to life. Thank you.
I dig it, man. That's awesome. Well, like I said, I said a second ago, I'm the owner editor of the Powell County paper. We are appropriately named the Powell County Patriot.
Oh, right.
Because we are very, very focused on first responders, veterans. That's kind of our central content.
Nice.
Any way we can. We always have a veteran spotlight. We always have some way to prop up first responders and shine a really positive light on that community.
Yeah.
So that's our bread and butter.
Very cool.
I love to hear it. Very cool, man. So you were a pastor, man. Tell me a little bit about that. You said, how long were you, I guess you're ordained, certified?
So my journey with the church started from childhood. I was born into it, raised by it, ended up employed by it as a pastor, a worship pastor.
Yeah.
For several churches, and for a time I would essentially work with churches to make the decision whether they wanted to stay traditional or that they wanted to move to more of a contemporary style worship thing.
Okay.
So
I gotcha.
I was more of a consultant there for a couple of years. And then in 2017, ended up walking away from organized religion, basically.
Right.
So
yeah, there are drawbacks to it, but the thing about it is, when it comes to faith, what goes on in like an organized hierarchical structure does not impact your relationship with God.
well, it shouldn't.
It should.
But when you're employed by them and you enter into this world where one man's power is supersedes God's.
I guess that's the point I'm getting at.
So I think, I still consider myself a pastor. I'm more a man of God now than I was even when I was in the church. It's much more intentional for me now.
And I guess that's kind of the one I'm getting at too. Not to get too theological, but like I've been a Baptist church my whole life. I was Southern Conservative Baptist. We're too afraid to stand up and sing, let alone whoop and holler or anything like that. But I've always kind of viewed the church as it's a very great way, as far as organized structure, actual physical church, for fellowship, for community, for, kind of building that relationship with God in a very collective setting. It does do something spiritually.
Absolutely.
But no, a lot of folks, like I have speak with my family, for instance, they, their relationship with God is very personal, and they actually have a better experience outside of that. Just because like there are certain anxieties in them that kind of pull away from their experience, worshiping, when they're in a confined setting, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a Christ follower.
Yeah.
Like if somebody asks me what religion I am or what, I'm a Christ follower. That's,
Oh yeah.
And Jesus literally is my savior. So it's like, I don't have a problem talking to anybody about any of it. It's just, it's a little bit different now that I'm not under the umbrella or structure of,
I get that.
Of the Southern Baptist Convention. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of identitarianism that goes on there too. And like I said, I grew up Southern Baptist, and
so did I.
My uncle is he's the preacher of the church, and I love him to death. He's so sharp. He's so very well read, and he's so very pragmatic. Yeah, and stuff like too, and like a lot of churches aren't like that.
Yeah, I love the church. Just to be clear, like
no, I understand that.
Like that is like that. It is my family, and yeah, it's the church in and of itself is absolutely beautiful when it can function as the body of Christ, as the hands and feet that we're supposed to be. There's nothing on earth that can touch it. It just seems like there's so much noise right now. Yeah,
there's a lot noise, and there's a lot.
That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Anyway, clarify what God's message is in my life.
Yeah. Recenter the focus on God. That's the central point.
Yeah.
It's like don't let the for lack of better terms, politics distract you. I mean, like there's politics that goes on inside those walls. Anywhere. Yeah. So. But yeah, kind of finding that relationship, maintaining that relationship. That's the whole thing. But I guess my introduction to your music was through your Christian writing and your Christian compositions.
Yeah.
Because you have the cap sessions, right? Very awesome. I love it, man. That's actually what led me to kind of discover your music, was kind of starting there and then kind of going from there. I know. I know tonight you're playing, I think we spoke a little bit about this off mic too. You have one of my all-time favorite covers that I've heard by anybody in this space, a Manchester Orchestra, I Know How to Speak. You have a very fabulous cover of that.
Thank you.
And as I've said on this podcast many times, Manchester Orchestra has a very personal place in, to me, and like a very visceral, I have a very powerful connection to them.
It's a spiritual connection.
It is, man. It's hard to explain. And it's hard for me to articulate right now.
Sure.
But they really helped me get through a hard time by, and the way I described it to you, like I said, off the mic, was really breaking you down to your core, disassembling you, and then allowing you to kind of put yourself back together in that, because I discovered them in one of my lowest times in my life. And I directly, credit them for coming out of that dark space
Nice.
and rebuilding. So
That's power of music, man.
it is, man, and that's I always love to explore that. I always love to tap into that, and when I found that. When I found that in your catalog, I knew immediately I had to talk to you. So,
Right on. Yeah.
So
Looking forward to playing it.
And then honestly, what was ironic about that? I think it was like maybe a week later you messaged me. It was like, hey, what's up, and let's work something out, and or get together. And so I'm super excited that we're able to make that happen and line this all up, because I'm really excited to show you off, showcase you on our space and our platform, and really deliver your content to people.
Nice.
So,
I appreciate it.
Well, yeah.
All right, so unfortunately, I'm having to do this one out of order. This was actually Jeremy's first original that he played of the night, and I'm hoping that you'll understand why. It's an extremely great song. In fact, it was easily my favorite of the originals. It's one that as soon as he got done playing it, I went on to Spotify and added it to one of my repeating playlists that I play a lot. It's super impactful song. Honestly, I could talk about this song for a long time, but I'm not, without giving anything away, you can tell that this song, it has a special bond between him and his son, which he talks about here in a minute. You can tell that some of the lyrics are probably just inside jokes or inside stories between him and his son. But it comes through in such a wholesome way. I could go on about this song forever. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. So I'm just going to stop rambling. This is It's Hard to Be Young. Please enjoy.
I love being a songwriter, and I'm very proud of this next song. This is a song I wrote for my son that just won Song of the Year at the Lexington Music Awards. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So many little stories within this one song that I wrote it about 4 years ago, and it's already been such a beautiful thing that my son and I have been able to share, because I kind of wrote little pieces that mean something to him and I, and yeah, he's figured a lot of it out. So this is called "It's Hard to Be Young." It's hard to be young in a world that is made of stone, and the battles we won, killing the cat in the cradle, we're willing and able, and we overcome the parts of our sum, the wholeness of one, but it's hard to be young. And I've been past the Hollywood sign, and I like to just fine, I'll adjust the car radio just how you like it would ever come back for me. I don't know how I'm supposed to be nice to your friends and your family first. That's what's always been taught to me, but it got me to where I never thought that I could ever be. Careful what you put in your head, son. I love you this much, and I know that it's hard to be young. It's so hard to be young. And I've been past the Hollywood sign, and I like to just fine, I'll adjust the car radio just how you like it would ever come back for me. I don't know how I'm supposed to be nice to your friends and your family first. That's what's always been taught to me, but it got me to where I never thought that I could ever be. Careful what you put in your head, son. I love you this much, and I know that it's hard to be young. 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 Yeah. in a world that is made of stone. Thank you. Thank you.
Looks like we're coming up on 30 minutes and coming on time for your set. You need to go on stage and set up. We need to break down and set up to record you.
Let's do it.
So let's plug your stuff for real quick. First of all, where can people find your music? Find more information about you, updates, and all that good stuff.
Yep, I got all the social medias. Jeremy Zeller on the other side on YouTube.
Okay.
So it's youtube.com/Jeremy Zeller on the other side. I'm pushing a lot of content towards Patreon now.
Right.
So patreon.com/Jeremy Zeller.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Facebook and Instagram and all that fun stuff. I'm not much of a Xer or Twitter or tweeter guy.
I used to be, but I don't know. It's just I got overloaded.
Oh yeah,
You get
that's why I'm going to Patreon. It's like there's too much stuff everywhere.
There is, yeah, absolutely. But very cool, man. And like I said, I'm so excited to kind of deliver content in this format. Like I said, this is new. Forgive us if there's any bumps, bugs, stumbles, fumbles. I came straight from a day job and kind of popped up down here at Toads and just jumped right in. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate you sitting down with me and having this conversation, and I look forward to having further conversation with you.
Let's do it.
And obviously, you're welcome back anytime. And we'll do a follow-up interview. Like, I'd like to talk to you again once your album releases.
Yeah.
And kind of talk about the reception and stuff like that. So
Let's do it.
But yeah, man. So yeah, check out Jeremy. Stay tuned. We're gonna have we'll probably bridge right into it. Josh will do his magic and do his editing stuff, and we'll bridge right into the session pretty smoothly. So stick around, and sessions are coming up.
All right.
It's good to meet you, bud. Thank you.
All right.